The world doesn't bend to your feelings, your excuses, or your fragile ego. It is indifferent and often harsh. It answers only to force of character, quiet, relentless power. Real strength isn't measured by how much you speak or how clever you sound. It's born when weakness is removed, when your mind stops racing, when your words stop betraying your plans, and when your energy is honed into a single, surgical focus. Most people live as noise, too many thoughts, too many words and little to show for them. To rise above that, you must become different. Become disciplined silence. Be the observer while others reveal themselves. Be the calculator while they gossip. Move with precision while they stumble through chaos. In that calm precision, you become untouchable. Every wasted word drains you. Every scattered thought weakens you. Every loss of focus exposes you. If you want to ascend, step into the austere discipline of less. Think less, talk less, focus more. That discipline is the foundation of genuine power. Silence is sharpening. Noise is a vulnerability. Many mistake volume for strength. Thinking force is proven by loud arguments and constant showing off. But true power behaves like the predator that only roars to remove doubt, not to win attention. Until you master silence, your careless words are chains that betray the shape of your mind to anyone willing to listen. A loose tongue hands your enemies maps to your weaknesses. Opinions spilled indiscriminately are invitations. The strong do not hand out routes to their vulnerabilities. They erase them. They live in restraint, observation, and measured response. Whoever cannot control their speech has already surrendered much of their power. Distraction is another enemy. Power does not come to the scattered or the indulgent. It comes to those who can lock their attention on a single objective and remove every obstacle standing in the way. Focus is not a pleasant option. It is the dividing line between mediocrity and dominance. The distracted man flits from impulse to impulse. The focused man channels every ounce of energy into one lethal, purposeful thrust. Focus demands sacrifice. It requires cutting away draining friendships, softening habits, and every voice that pulls you off course. It will harden you. It may make you seem cold. That is the price of strength. While the herd chases comfort and validation, the disciplined person concentrates energy into a spear and drives it through resistance. People perform on a stage and wear masks. The weak wear masks that crack under pressure. The strong wear theirs like armor, composed, restrained, controlled. This is not passivity, it is strategy. Speak less and reveal less. Move less and reveal only what must be seen. Your mask becomes a shield. Behind it you remain unreadable. Silence is not emptiness, it is strategy. Focus is not obsession, it is weaponry. When you withhold, when you listen and watch, others fill the space with themselves. They reveal fears, motives, and flaws. Learn to collect that information. Once you know someone's weaknesses, you hold leverage. This is not kindness or morality in the sentimental sense. It's pragmatic strategy. Combine inner control with control of perception, and you become difficult to break. Stoic endurance and Machiavellian calculation together produce a person who cannot easily be manipulated or deterred. Wear your mask, hide your turmoil, conserve your fire until the decisive moment, and when it comes, act swiftly, precisely, and inevitably. If this is helpful, then please do subscribe for more content like this. Thanks for watching, keep watching. The anatomy of control power begins with control, cold, deliberate, and absolute. Without it, you are nothing but a puppet, jerked around by emotion, impulse, and anyone who understands you better than you understand yourself. The average man is a slave, yet he doesn't see the chains. He is bound to anger, lust, distraction, and every fleeting temptation that enters his undisciplined mind. He mistakes indulgence for freedom, not realizing that indulgence is just another form of enslavement. True freedom, true power, comes only through mastery of the self. And mastery begins with ruthless control. Think less, talk less, focus more. These are not catchy slogans, they are weapons. To think less is to silence the endless noise in your mind, to kill the weak inner voice that doubts, overanalyzes, and paralyzes you. Overthinking leads to hesitation, and hesitation is death. To talk less is to deny others the privilege of reading your intentions. Every word is a signal, and every signal is a potential vulnerability. Say nothing, reveal nothing, and you become a shadow, present, but untouchable. To focus more is to channel every ounce of your energy into one objective, one strike, one mission until the world bends to your will. That is how men rise. That is how legacies are carved. Machiavelli understood this. People are not moved by truth, but by appearances, by fear, and by desire. Control what they see. Control what they believe. And you control them entirely. Dark psychology adds another layer. People will often betray themselves faster than you ever could betray them. They want to be understood. They crave someone to listen. They'll spill secrets into silence if you master the restraint to simply stay quiet. Power is not brute force. It's invisible chains woven from psychology, perception, and self-discipline. But control is brutal. It requires sacrifice. It means burning away softness, indulgence, and comfort. To gain control, you must kill the weakest parts of yourself, the lazy part, the needy part, the emotional part that screams instead of strategizes. You must embrace discomfort, solitude, and silence until they stop feeling like punishment and start feeling like sharpened tools. Only then will you rise above men who break under pressure, collapse in distraction, and waste their strength in meaningless pursuits. When you reach that level of control, the world begins to respond. People will fear your calm. They will respect your silence. They'll be disturbed by your focus. They won't know what you're thinking, and that mystery will make them cautious. They won't know your next move, and that unpredictability will make them weak. You will no longer be reacting to life. You'll be directing it. The path of ruthless discipline. Most men will never taste real power, not because they're incapable, but because they lack the spine for discipline. They confuse indulgence with life. They see weakness as kindness. They call distraction a break. They gorge on pleasure, flee from pain, and beg for validation like dogs waiting for scraps. Then they wonder why they remain invisible, why no one respects them, why life crushes them without mercy. Here's the truth. The world does not honor men who beg. It honors men who endure. It respects those who chain their impulses, silence their emotions, and act with ruthless focus when others fall apart. Discipline is the crucible where strength is forged, the fire that burns away weakness, the hammer that shapes a man into something the herd cannot recognize. The Stoics knew this. Pain is not your enemy, it is your teacher. Discomfort is not punishment, it is preparation. Each time you resist temptation, your edge sharpens. Each time you suffer in silence, you forge armor no enemy can pierce. Each moment of restraint, each act of focus carves the path toward mastery. But discipline is not gentle. It does not care about your excuses or emotions. It is merciless. That's why most people quit. They run back to comfort, to laziness, to the noise. Because discipline forces them to confront the hollowness of their will. If you want to rise above the herd, you must embrace what they run from. Wake when your body begs for sleep. Work when your mind pleads for rest. Remain silent when your ego demands to be heard. Discipline is the cold blade you press against your own throat. Obey or be destroyed. Machiavelli would say it is not enough to appear disciplined. You must be disciplined. Appearances deceive, but lack of control always reveals itself. And once revealed, it can be exploited. Dark psychology reminds us, most men are addicted to shortcuts, comfort, and the illusion of happiness. They will call you extreme for choosing discipline. They will mock your silence, resent your focus, and ridicule your restraint. Let them. Every insult, every doubt, is proof that you've already separated yourself from them. They hate the sight of what they lack. And when their own chaos consumes them, when their path ends in weakness, you will still be standing, cold, untouchable, unshaken. The leverage of discipline. A disciplined man holds leverage in every interaction. He cannot be baited by anger, seduced by lust, or distracted by noise. His energy is like a river, constant, focused, unstoppable, while others waste theirs in meaningless directions. People feel this when they're around such a man. They sense the gravity of his presence. They are moved not by what he says, but by the weight of his silence, the inevitability of his precision. Now compare this man to the herd. They are scattered, loud, and impulsive. Their words are cheap. Their actions lack direction. They chase status, scream for attention, and beg for approval. But the disciplined man speaks little, moves deliberately, and acts without hesitation. Who survives the storm? Who commands respect? Who bends the world? The answer is clear. Discipline is not optional. It is the foundation of all strength, control, and power. Without it, you are nothing. With it, you are a force of nature, silent, patient, and unstoppable. But know this, discipline is lonely. You must be prepared for that. Most will not follow the path you take. They will call you cold, obsessive, distant. Let them. You cannot carry the weak where you are going. Their chaos cannot mix with your clarity. Discipline demands sacrifice, and one of the greatest sacrifices is walking away from the world of men who live like cattle, driven by impulse, lost in noise, slaves to distraction. If you cannot bear that loneliness, you will never earn the crown of power. So ask yourself, are you willing to be feared instead of liked, respected instead of loved, unshaken instead of understood? If so, discipline will be your ally. If not, you will remain what you are. Power begins inside, not with armies, money, or titles, but in the fortress of your mind. Built stone by stone through discipline, silence, and relentless focus, that inner stronghold is the origin of every man who ever ruled by fear, cunning, or force. The herd mistakes power for outward trappings, the cars, the applause, the women, but those are fleeting rewards given to men who already possess unshakable internal dominance. Without mastery of self, external success collapses. Kings have fallen to temptation, generals to arrogance, leaders to their own appetites. They were undone not by foes but by themselves. Every withheld explanation, every resisted urge to boast, is another brick in that fortress. Weak men explain their motives, justify their failures, and broadcast their insecurities, opening doors for manipulation. Silence, conversely, leaves others in the dark. They begin to project their fears, to doubt themselves, to overshare. In a world that never stops talking, silence becomes a decisive weapon. But silence alone is incomplete. A fortress needs order, and order comes from focus. Focus aligns your energy toward one mission, one goal, one strike. While most men scatter their attention across impulses and momentary pleasures, the focused man channels every ounce of time and will into what matters. Obsession, refusal to be distracted, and the merciless elimination of wasted effort are how empires, internal or external, are erected. Focus is the architecture of power. It builds walls where chaos once reigned. Control is the roof that seals the fortress. It is the hardest, most brutal element because it requires mastery over your emotions until they serve your purpose rather than command you. Anger must be a sharpened blade released only to cut clean. Desire must be transmuted into fuel for ambition. Fear must become alertness, not paralysis. Most men collapse beneath their feelings, shouting when they should listen, fleeing when they should endure. Control separates the conqueror from the conquered. Machiavelli's calculus, better to be feared than loved when both cannot be had, reflects the grammar of power. Fear secures obedience. Love invites dependence. Men who live for approval are slaves to opinion. Those who command presence through discipline need no applause. A sealed inner fortress resists flattery, insult, and temptation alike. Dark psychology simply sharpens the practical truth. People cannot resist filling silence, and when they do, they reveal their motives and weaknesses. Your advantage is to watch and let them expose themselves. Yet the fortress is paid for in sacrifice. Discipline strips away softness. Silence isolates. Focus makes obsession. Control cools the heart. The path narrows relationships, jettisons idle pleasures, and will leave you lonely while others drown in noise. That loneliness is the crucible. Only in solitude does discipline harden into unshakable strength. Most men flee that loneliness and thus remain weak. When the inner work is done, others feel the change before you speak. Your presence gains weight. People tread carefully around you without knowing why. They project power onto the silent man because he radiates self-mastery. He becomes dangerous not through wanton force, but through inevitability, measured patience, precise action, and an unshowy command of perception. Life is a chessboard of rivals, tools, and threats. Observation, restraint, and timing turn information into leverage. Observation yields truth. Restraint preserves advantage. Timing converts intent into victory. Show strength to inspire fear. Show weakness to elicit pity. Feign indifference to breed desperation. The art is not cruelty, but survival. Everyone nudges perception. The difference is whether you do it knowingly. In short, think less, talk less, focus more. Build your mind into a fortress, defend it with discipline, and you will direct the world rather than react to it. My mind is my fortress. Discipline makes me untouchable. The man who speaks less, reveals little, and controls his image through discipline is always in command of the narrative. He becomes an invisible force in the room, shaping reality while others expose their vulnerabilities. But domination isn't solely about defeating your enemies. It's about commanding your allies. People are driven by two primal forces, fear and desire. If you cannot be both loved and feared, then be feared first and respected always. Love is fleeting, but respect endures. To ensure loyalty, give people just enough of what they crave to bind them to you, but never enough to make them independent. Keep them slightly uncertain, hungry for your approval and dependent on you. A man who feels indebted to you will obey. A man who believes he needs you will defend you. A man who fears losing you will never betray you. Dark psychology reveals another critical truth. Most people crave leadership. They don't want to think for themselves. They want to be directed, given purpose. The herd fears responsibility, and that's where your opportunity lies. A disciplined man who has mastered his inner chaos radiates certainty, and certainty is magnetic. People will flock to you because you embody what they lack. They will mistake your silence for wisdom, your calm for truth, and cling to it like a life raft. Use this to guide them where you want, not where they think they want to go. Leadership isn't about asking. It's about directing with such confidence that obedience feels natural. However, domination requires balance. Too much cruelty and your power becomes fragile. Too much kindness and your power dissolves. The Stoics' lesson is self-control, mastering your responses, emotions, and actions. Machiavelli teaches the measured use of fear, calculated, precise, and strategic. To dominate, you must blend both: cold discipline, strategic perception, and ruthless execution. Men who possess these traits are respected because they are rare. They cannot be shaken by insult, temptation, or threat. But this path will isolate you. To rise above, you must first distance yourself from the herd. You will become the target of envy, whispers, and attacks. Let them come. Envy is a testament to power. Hatred is proof of fear. Opposition signals that you've stepped out of the herd and into the realm of predators. Don't run from it, command it. A man who has built his inner fortress and sharpened his focus will never be undone by the noise of weaker men. Their words are like wind. Your will is iron. Now think. What would your life look like if you embraced this clarity every single day? If you eliminated every distraction, exposed every weakness, and leveraged every interaction, you wouldn't be just another man. You'd become the axis around which others rotate. People would measure themselves against you, define their choices by your presence, fear crossing you, crave serving you, and struggle to understand you. That is domination, not loud or chaotic, but inevitable, silent, and absolute. Think less, talk less, focus more. Observe, restrain, manipulate, command, and build your fortress within. Then, extend that power outward until the world bends to your will. This isn't fantasy. It's the inevitable outcome of disciplined strategy. Few will embrace it, though, because it requires sacrifice. You must choose now: remain one of the herd, noisy, weak, and scattered, or step into the cold silence of power and learn to rule. Your choice shapes your future. Comment this now: I command myself. Therefore, I command the world. Becoming untouchable. Being untouchable doesn't mean avoiding struggle or resistance. It doesn't mean you'll never face betrayal or pain. Being untouchable means that nothing external can break you. It means your mind remains unshaken when the storms rage. It means your focus remains undeterred when distractions tempt. And it means your silence remains impenetrable when the world demands reaction. The herd collapses under pressure because they are built on sand. You, however, will be built on stone. To become untouchable, you must eliminate dependency. Any chain that ties your strength to another person's approval, a woman's validation, or society's acceptance is a weakness waiting to be exploited. Dependency makes you predictable, controllable, and weak. Break those chains. Train yourself to need nothing but your mission. When you no longer need praise, no insult can wound you. When you no longer crave comfort, no hardship can deter you. When you no longer rely on others to define you, no one has power over you. That is freedom. And freedom is the essence of being untouchable, but freedom alone is not enough. Untouchable men project inevitability. They radiate the presence of someone who cannot be stopped, only endured. This aura is not born of arrogance. It's a product of discipline and consistency. Every day you sharpen your silence. Every day you reinforce your focus. Every day you master your control. You are building an image that others cannot pierce. People sense when a man is unmoved by fear, untouched by temptation, and immune to manipulation. That unsettles them, forces them to respect you even if they resent you. This is why silence is your shield and focus is your weapon. They build the aura of inevitability. The untouchable man is ruthless in self-awareness. He does not lie to himself or indulge in fantasies of greatness while his actions betray weakness. He confronts his flaws, dismantles them, and rebuilds himself stronger. Most men are destroyed not by external enemies, but by the lies they tell themselves. False confidence, imagined strength, hollow bravado. You cannot afford such illusions. Cold truth is your ally. Brutal honesty with yourself is your foundation. Only when you master yourself in truth can you dominate others in reality. Legacy thinking, being untouchable, also requires thinking beyond the present moment. While the herd lives for fleeting pleasures and immediate comfort, the untouchable man lives for lasting impact. Every action you take is a brick in the monument of your influence. The untouchable man isn't forgotten because he doesn't live like the herd. He imprints himself on every room, every interaction, and every decision. His presence lingers long after his absence. That is immortality of influence, and it belongs to the man who controls himself absolutely. Think less, talk less, focus more, break dependency, radiate inevitability. Confront yourself ruthlessly. Build legacy daily. This is the formula. This is the path. Follow it and the world cannot break you. You will not bend. You will not fall. You will not be touched. Comment this now. I am inevitable. Let the world know the moment you decided to rise above. The final command now, the final command. You've heard the call, think less, talk less, focus more. You've walked through silence, discipline, control, and domination. Now you must act. Power means nothing if it doesn't move you to action. Untouchable isn't something you wish to be. It's something you become through relentless execution. The greatest enemy of men is not a lack of knowledge, but hesitation. Weak men already know what they must do. They know they should cut distractions, silence weakness, kill dependency, and sharpen their focus. But they wait. They stall. They fantasize about power rather than claiming it. The untouchable man does not wait. He executes. He builds his fortress brick by brick, day by day, action by action. He doesn't need motivation, because he is fueled by inevitability. He doesn't seek permission, because he already commands himself. This is the final command. Stop waiting. Live this philosophy as if your life depends on it, because it does. Life is short, brutal, and unforgiving. The herd wastes it chasing fleeting pleasures and approval. You can't afford to live like them. Every second you waste is strength leaking from your body, control slipping from your mind, and focus dissolving into nothing. To be untouchable is to treat every moment like a weapon. Sharpen it, wield it, and use it against mediocrity. Every day you think less, you silence noise. Every day you talk less, you deny enemies your map. Every day you focus more, you carve your destiny with precision. These aren't just habits, they are rituals of power. Honor them, and they will transform you into something the herd cannot even comprehend. But know this, the untouchable man is feared not because he is cruel, but because he is inevitable. His silence unnerves them. His control breaks them. His focus crushes them. His presence outlasts his absence. He leaves a mark they cannot erase. He doesn't live by accident, he lives by design. This is the final stage of power, legacy. So now I turn this on you. What will you choose? Will you remain one of the herd, noisy, weak, and scattered? Or will you step into silence, discipline, focus, and control? Will you let your life dissolve into nothing? Or will you forge yourself into the man the world cannot break? The answer lies not in what you say, but in what you do next. Comment this now. I am untouchable. Let the world know the moment you decided to rise above. And if this message burned something inside you, if it sharpened your edge, don't let it end here. Like this video, subscribe to psyrithm, and turn on notifications so you never miss the next strike. This is not entertainment, it's transformation. If you're ready to rise above the herd, this is only the beginning.